Hi everyone, thanks again for tuning in. So, here is another question that a lot of clients ask us as to what the exact cost is that's involved in immigrating to Canada. So, in this presentation, I've sort of given you a very good idea. I've laid down everything for you very clearly. So, hopefully that helps. So, let's get right to it. So, the first is the education verification, which is the education credential verification, also called ECA. And that depends on which agency is doing your ECA. So it could be ICAS, it could be WES. Depending on that, the cost differs. So it's around $300 per person. But again, it depends on which agency you're going with. Some are slightly cheaper, some are slightly bit more on the expensive side, but around 300 should be a good estimate. And the next is IELTS, or the CELPIP test that you have to take, the English test, and that's around again $300 per person. The next is the government application fee, which is anywhere between $350 to $1,500 depending on which province you're applying for. This is really for PNPs, that is the Provincial Nominee Program. So say for example you are going ahead with Saskatchewan, it'll be around the $300-ish. And if you're going with Ontario PNP, it's around $1,500. But pretty much all the provinces fall within this price range. And this is really for the whole family, it's not per person. Okay. So the medical exam is the next. That again, it depends on where you're taking it from, how much the doctors charge. It could be anywhere from $170 to $200 Canadian per person. The next is police clearance. Again, depends on how many countries you need to get the police clearance from. A thing to remember here is any country that you've lived in after you've turned 18 for at least 6 months continuously, we need police clearance from all those countries. The next is the processing and the right of permanent residence fee, which is called the right of PR fee. Now that for the main applicant is $1,325, that is $1,325, and for the spouse again it's another $1,325. It's not for the whole family. And if you do have any dependent children, the dependent children will be charged $225 per dependent child. Okay, so really, if you look at it per person, you're looking at about 2,770 Canadian. And this again, I have put in a lot of buffer in there. So if you really put maybe slightly more buffer to what I've already put in here and consider it to be 3,000 Canadian dollars, it shouldn't really go more than that per person. Now, again, I've not really talked about you retaking IELTS, or maybe redoing the education verification through another agency because you're not getting the education verification that you were looking for. So really putting all these buffers in, you think about maybe 3,000 to even 3,500 Canadian dollars. Now, I have not really talked about any of the immigration consulting firm fees or anything like that here. This is basically whether you're doing it on your own or whether you're working with somebody else. This is the fee that you will be responsible for. And most likely, the immigration firm that you're working with, if you choose to work with one, will not pay for any of this. And if they do, it will clearly state in the agreements that they will take care of some of these disbursements for you as well. Now, if you are looking to apply with your entire family, you just need to make sure that you are adding all the different amounts over here, like $1,325 for your spouse and $225 per dependent child. The police clearance, medical clearance, you just have to add up all of those amounts for every member of your family. And that will really give you an approximate, a very good idea about what the cost will be. So now the proof of funds is the requirement for you to show that you've got adequate funds for you to settle in Canada, say for the first year. So you've got the money for your accommodation, you've got your money for your living expenses, your food, your shelter, all of that. Okay, so if you're one person coming here, then you need about $13,213 right now. Until just recently, it was just about 12,000 and odd, so they've increased that amount over here. And depending on how many members of the family you are, like, if you are husband and wife with 2 kids, then you have to look at number 4, which is 24,553. Now, this is really a very approximate number that you need to show in your bank account that you've got these funds to take care of yourself and the family. Now, a lot of people, when they are coming here to Canada for the first time and they're just husband and wife with 2 kids and they come with exactly this amount, I can tell you, depending on which province you're going to, this number may not be sufficient. Okay, so it may be extremely stressful because you are, you will find it hard to actually find a place to rent. Um, so you want to make sure that you are definitely keeping some buffer there for you. Unless, especially when you're coming with kids, you want to make sure you're, staying in a nice place. You're not putting them in any subsidized accommodations. So if you're going to Ontario or BC, renting and everything can be very expensive. It's a different story if you're going to, say, Sudbury or Saskatchewan, not Sudbury, sorry, Saskatchewan or PEI or any of the other provinces, because rental is slightly low. But Ontario, BC, you really have to look at upping that amount at least by $5,000 to $10,000 for you to remain comfortable. So you're not stressed out to find the job in the first week after you arrive. You can take a good 2 to 3 months to really interview around and find the right opportunity that works best for you. So, hope you found that useful. If you did like what you heard and saw today, please give us that thumbs up so it motivates us to keep making such awesome videos to present to you. If you have any topics that you would like us to cover, leave it in the comments below. And if you have any questions with related to this presentation or any of our other videos, leave it in the comment below as well, and we'll be happy to get in touch with you. And also, please subscribe to our channel. We work on posting videos on a weekly basis with a ton of information related to Canadian immigration. I wish you guys all the best and good luck.